What is up, everybody? It is your boy Patrick, and in today's video I'm going to take y'all through an entire day in the life 3 weeks out of my first ever bodybuilding competition. So my days have changed a lot. You're 3 weeks out now. There's no time to waste, so let's get right into it. First things first, I want to show you guys my alarm clock. It's an alarm clock that I just got, and it's a pretty special one. It's called a Smart Wake Up Light, and it's literally like $30 on Amazon, and it's an absolute lifesaver. Now, if you saw when I was waking up and the alarm was going off, that wasn't special effects. That bird chirping noise is literally how it wakes you up, but it also wakes you up with that light, and what it's supposed to do is simulate a sunrise. So when I was sleeping, it slowly, 15 minutes before the set time that I put, increases the brightness of that light. And it's not like a super white, like blue annoying light. It's a nice gradual increase, and it's a nice warm, like yellowish orange light that's supposed to simulate a sunrise. And that way when you wake up in the morning, you're slowly getting exposed to light as well as that bird chirping sound, and it's supposed to be as close as it can get to like nature at a sunrise and start your circadian rhythm in order and wake up as naturally as possible. And I find ever since I got this clock, I've been waking up a lot more, one, refreshed, but also like not waking up in pitch black with just a loud sound buzzing in my ear where I'm still super tired and my brain still thinks it's night. This way my brain thinks it's day, so when I hear those birds chirping and I open my eyes and that light is already shining on me, I'm alert and I'm ready to go. So after I wake up, the first thing I do is step on the scale and get my morning weight. Now this weight has been dropping like crazy, so I'm really excited to see where we're at here. So as you guys can tell, I'm absolutely shredded dice. I'm super excited to step on the scale because the weight has been dropping like crazy. And there we go, the first time ever weighing under 165 all prep. So the first time we ever touched under 165 pounds this prep, and the last time I was under 165 pounds was probably like 5 years ago. So I am insanely light. The weight has been continuing to fall off, and the fat has been just falling off still as we get closer and closer to the show. And we are reaching that single digit, absolutely bone dry, shredded look, which I'm super excited for. And cardio's been completely pulled, so I'm going to explain that a little bit in this video as I run you guys through the full day in the life and as I go through my day. But we are off to an amazing start. Time to hydrate now, and it's time to get outside for my first morning walk. So the first things first is we get outside for our first morning walk of the day. And what I want to highlight in this video specifically is going to be how to run a successful bodybuilding prep and how you want to set it up in terms of planning and how lean you want to be out at each stage. And then also I want to explain to you guys what it looks like to properly manage the beginning of the prep, the middle of the prep, and the tail end of the prep where I'm at now in order to truly be lean enough and have that 6% body fat stage condition, but also at the same time have enough time, drop the fatigue going into the show. That way you can come in fully fresh, fully refed on carbohydrates, and just shredded, full, and bring your best package possible. And what that looks like and how you can accomplish this through managing your prep properly at the beginning, middle, and end stages. So there have been a few changes from the last time I recorded a video at home. So I'll explain kind of why in this video, and I'll explain how you want to properly run your prep, because my prep has gone extremely smoothly. And now that I'm 3 weeks out, I am exactly in the right position where I want to be, and everything has fallen perfectly according to plan to show my best package and present my best package on show day. So first things first, we get up, we get out of bed, the alarm goes off at 8 o'clock, and instead of fasted cardio, because fasted cardio has been completely dropped, we do our first morning walk. Now this goes 20-30 minutes outside, of course. Normally I'll go shirtless if it's super sunny out, just so I can start getting a tan. But today's a little bit cloudy, so we'll keep the shirt on. And nothing too crazy. This will just bump us up to around 3,000 steps and get some vitamin D and sunlight in our eyes first thing when we wake up in the morning. It's a good view to have right when you start the day, and it's good to just kind of be calm, have sunlight, get out in nature right when you wake up. And it's definitely a good way to start your morning, and it's perfect for being 3 weeks out. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about side effects of getting this lean, and I haven't had much. One thing I do notice is my sleep a little bit, and that's something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with in any diet, but especially when you get contest lean. And it makes complete sense because if you just think about it logically, right, you're in a mode of starvation, and that's basically what any type of diet, especially bodybuilding prep, is at single digit body fat. So your body is kind of telling yourself, what the hell are you doing sleeping? Get up and go get food, go get nutrients, go eat calories, because if you don't, we are withering away to nothingness and we're literally about to die. And now is not the time to sleep, now is the time to eat food. So it makes sense why a lot of people would struggle with sleep on prep and, late stages of a diet where you're getting very lean. But for me, it hasn't been that bad. I'm getting a bare minimum of 6 hours every single night. And when I check my Fitbit sleep score, everything is always above, 75 to 80 in terms of sleep score. So I'm also getting good quality sleep. So for me, it hasn't been a big issue. But one thing that I think is honestly underrated, and one thing that I've noticed a lot during this prep, is since I'm in that mode of starvation, when I do wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go and I'm wide awake from the second my alarm goes off. And I think part of it is because obviously your body wants you to get up and get active and go get food, so it does wake up with that alertness. But obviously if you have a ton of stuff to do during the day, it's low-key a cheat code, because I remember waking up peak full and I could just go back to sleep for another couple hours and I would waste like the good majority of the beginning part of my day. But being in a deficit and being almost stage ready, right from the moment I wake up, I'm alert, I'm on, I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to get work and things done, which I think is a massive advantage being in contest prep. So that was the first box check for today, the morning walk, around 20-25 minutes, and we banged out a solid 4,000 steps. So on that walk I go pretty quick just because I'm ready to eat. But it is not time for meal one yet. What it is time for is, I'm gonna say, the most important time of the day. It's something I've implemented in the last 23 days and it's honestly changed my life. I want to take you guys through a entire full day in the life, exactly what I've been doing, and that's what I plan to do. I don't plan on hiding anything from you guys, so I'm going to talk about everything I do, even including this. And that is my 1 hour of Bible reading and reflection. I've never been a big religion guy. I was a little bit more when I was a kid. My family was into it a little, but I never really got into it. And I kind of drifted pretty far from it, to be honest with you. And that was until the last year when I started doing well for myself financially. I was in the best position physically, but mentally, spiritually, I was destroyed. I felt empty. I felt unfulfilled. I felt even depressed, I want to say, at times. And I couldn't really explain why, and I didn't think religion was going to be the answer. And that was until I came across a few videos, and I'll give you guys the same advice that those videos gave me, and that advice that changed my life really. And basically that advice was, forget religion, forget Christianity, forget Islam, do your own research and research one thing. And that thing is Jesus Christ. I looked up online resources, looked up a couple YouTube videos. Two resources that I'll share with you guys that really helped me was the George Janko podcast. I wasn't really a fan of his before this, and then I saw a few clips, so I decided to give his podcast a couple chances, and I was gladly impressed, and I really resonated with a lot of what he said. So the episodes I would recommend for the George Janko pod are Cliff Knekel. I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name, but watch those, give it a chance. After that, honestly, once I heard what they had to say there, I decided to do my own research, so I bought a $20 Bible on Amazon, and for the last 21 days, I've been reading it, and I haven't just been reading it. I actually do a little bit of a reflection here. So I flip through these pages. I read a chapter per day, and I do a reflection. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. And then also another really good resource that I use is this website called Got Questions, Get Answers. And it looks like this. So basically how I'll do it is I'll read my one chapter. I will search up anything that I don't understand on this website. They give you a little bit of context and they give you some sort of a practical takeaway that you can take from it. And then after I do that, I write my one-page reflection about my own thoughts, what I thought about it, and what I can personally take away and how I can implement in my life. And to be honest, doing this over the last 22 days has completely changed my life. So I'm not one of those hippie religious guys that's trying to indoctrinate you into a religion. I'm saying forget religion. I'm saying forget Christianity. I'm saying research Jesus Christ like I did, and it could potentially change your life. So that's what I will do for the next hour. It just keeps me centered and it keeps my brain focused on what's truly important, which is always having God at the center of your life. So that's what I've been doing in, times of overwhelm. Be feeling overwhelmed has definitely helped. everything that's going crazy with my business doing really well and my coaching doing really well, with prep, with social media. Like, there's so much going on and there's so much things bouncing around my brain and coming into my head that me starting my day with an hour of the word and reflecting on it and truly understanding it is a rock for me, and it always keeps me centered and it always starts my day off in the right way. Now, if you want to just pick up a Bible and start reading, I probably wouldn't recommend you go to the Old Testament because that's a lot of history and stuff, and that's what I started with. I just kind of did the story of Genesis just to get like a little bit of background on God as a whole. But then after that, I would honestly just suggest start reading the Gospels. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I would say start with John just because that's what the internet told me and that's what I did. And I think John is supposed to be like either the most descriptive one or give the most detail from Jesus' life. I don't know why they recommend that, but you can start with Matthew if you want. They're kind of all very similar, so it doesn't really matter. The reason why I would say start with the Gospel is because if your goal is to research and understand Jesus Christ, the Gospel are eyewitnesses accounts of him. So that's going to give you quotes from him where he's practicing teachings, things that he did, how he lived his life. And once you kind of read that is how you're truly going to understand him and what he's about. So that's what I would recommend. Maybe go Genesis if you want, but then after that, definitely dive into the Gospels. And that's where I would like really start your reading and your research. So if I'm going to do a full day in the life, I might as well do a full day of eating as well. The last time you guys saw my diet was not like this at all. So there actually is a pretty significant changes. Now this is not the lowest food I've been on. This is actually me increasing my carbs, being 3 weeks out, and I'll explain why later in the video. So my food was actually previous lower for like the last 6 weeks. And now I'm starting to actually increase it so that I can feed and eat into the show. So let me show you meal one, and I'm starving, so let's do it. Now this is a massive plate of eggs. Basically what it is, 2 pieces of turkey, chicken, bacon, 2 whole eggs, 100 grams of egg white, 100 grams of rice. Before it was 50, so I've doubled that to 100. And then 4 glorious chocolate rice cakes, multivitamin, omega-3, a little bit of D3, and then 1 clementine and a ton of water. This is meal one and also the pre-workout meal. So I'll eat this now and then I have about 60 minutes to digest before I start ingesting pre-workout. So it's about 60 minutes after eating that meal number one or pre-workout meal. Now what my normal routine looks like would be I eat that meal, I go for another short 10-minute walk, then I do posing and I practice my posing like I'm just in my basement with my new men's physique shorts that I just got and then also classic. But I actually scheduled a posing session with my posing coach today because 3 weeks out, so I wanted to make sure that he can, give me another look, tweak anything that needs to be tweaked, and I can continue practicing. So instead of that, walk and posing session on my own, I just did some client work, and then now we are heading to the gym. And then right after the gym, I will head straight to his place where we will pose, and I'm gonna bring the camera in. I'm gonna do a little time lapse so you guys can see that. Let's head to the gym now. I'm gonna drink my pre-workout, and then when we get there, I will tell you guys a little bit about my training, some stuff that's changed. Maybe I'll even pick it up while I'm driving. Hopefully I don't crash my car. I wish I could set it up like on a stand, like that would be like perfect. But once I start driving, it would definitely fall. I don't know, maybe I'll try it and then you'll have some blooper clips. Let's head to the gym now. I'll talk a little bit about my training and the changes that are being made 3 weeks out, and then I'll pick it back up after that. It's definitely gonna fall. 1,000,000,000% chance that it falls. Oh shit! Okay, we're at the gym now. As you can tell, I'm buzzing off pre-workout. Energy might be a little bit different. One little fat loss tip that I've been utilizing all throughout my prep. It may be because I'm literally crashing out, but it definitely helps. And that is wherever you go, anywhere, to the gym, to the grocery store, to the mall, to your friend's house, park far away. The gym is all the way down there, that building there. There's tons of parking right in front, but I'm gonna park over here. That way I have to walk, get out my car, walk all the way down, go in, and then when I leave, walk all the way back. Sure, it's only, a couple hundred steps, but you do a couple hundred extra steps when you go to the gym, couple hundred when you go to the store, couple hundred when you go to the mall, couple hundred when you go to your friend's house. Do that every single day. That's a little bit of fat loss. So that's a fat loss tip that a lot of people I feel like don't utilize. Gotta open this because I need fresh air, else I'm gonna literally pass out. But training's a little bit different now. Volume has been well reduced. I'm basically just gonna do 1 set every single exercise between 12 to 15, like a working set. Probably 3 to 4
reps from failure, and then I'll do one set after that, which will be heavier. So I'll do my lighter set first just to fully like warm everything up, and then I'll do my heavier set after. And that'll probably be in the 6 to 8 rep range, probably 1 rep from failure, just to kind of keep my strength as best I can. Because now 3 weeks out is not the time where you push yourself crazy hard in the workouts and you add a shit ton of fatigue and you add a shit ton of recoverable or non-recoverable volume that you won't be able to recover from, because you're legitimately should be single digit body fat, if not 6%. So why would you increase your workload, increase the fatigue, put yourself in a hole when you're trying to do the opposite? Because you should be reducing cardio, reducing training volume, increasing food, increasing recovery, so that you can present your best package on stage in a few short weeks. So let's get in there and let's get working out. I'll pick it back up after. I don't want to record me in the change room because I want Armand for that. I don't want to do an injustice to my shreds and, you know, get a shitty angle with this shitty camera. So we'll wait for Armand for that. Let's work out. So training has finished up. My sessions are now definitely shorter because volume's dropped off. All I did, 2 sets of 2 different lat exercises, 2 sets of upper back, and then 1 set kind of mixed between lat and upper back. 2 sets of curls, 1 set of hammer curls, and I called it there. A little bit of posing before I actually go to my posing now. So yeah, definitely a shorter session, pretty much an hour and a half total with, you know, warming up properly and everything like that, a little bit of posing in the change room. So nothing too crazy. Obviously try to keep the volume and the energy expenditure in those sets low. Still going decently heavy, but not pushing anywhere near peak strength or peak capabilities, because at 3 weeks out, single digit body fat, there is just no point to do that whatsoever. And I have to say, I am looking absolutely dialed. I'm sitting in like literally the perfect spot for 2.5 to 3 weeks out, which was obviously the plan from the beginning. And it's just so rewarding having pushed so hard from the very start to be ready 2.5 to 3 weeks out, because now this is where I can drop the stress, drop the pushing, drop the cardio, increase the food, and I don't have to worry. My mentality is going to be practice the peak, fine-tune the details. The work is done. Enjoy this process and finish it out strong. So that's my plan. Heading to posing now. I'm going to set up and play a little time lapse of the whole session, and you guys will see that now. So just wrapped up an hour of posing. My posing coach is Farzad. Armand can throw it up here. IFBB Pro and actually CPA judge for the federation that I'm competing in. And I went with him, obviously, because he knows what he's talking about, because he's a judge in the same federation. Now, he's not judging my show, so I am going to have my post-workout meal now, however, because it's been a fat minute since I last ate, and I have a 40-minute drive home from his place. So in this here, we have 180 grams of chicken, 200 grams of white rice, 8 grams of olive oil, and a little bit of that juicy Frank's Red. I'm gonna muck this while I'm driving 40 minutes home, and then I will gotta pick it back up and tell you guys what I'm doing there to finish off the day in the life. So since the last time I recorded, I have been sat here on my laptop for just about like 3 hours, and I've just been doing client work this entire time. I have an insane amount of new clients all signing up, because now that, you know, your boy's shredded, everyone wants to get coached by him because they see what he can actually do. So I'm having a ton of calls with people just to seeing if they're good fits for the program. A lot of them are, and a lot of them are signing up. So I have an insane amount of client work to do every single day, which obviously I love, and it's keeping me busy, and this is going to be my full-time job here and my full-time kind of way that I'm going to be able to make money, which is everything I've ever hoped and dreamed for. Glory to God alone, because of his blessing that's allowing me to do this. But I'm insanely busy. So that's what I did for the last 3 hours. Now it is time to eat again. Not my last meal, but my second last meal. And I'm going to cook that up right now and show you guys that, and then explain, because this is supposed to be in a day in life, but a lot of the time is behind the computer, making plans for people, talking to clients, and tweaking things. So I'm starving. Let's go cook and let's go eat. Okay, meal number 3 is going down. I am absolutely hitting a handsome PR right now. I think I'm gonna shave Saturday. I'm gonna shave the whole face Saturday and fully get the full death face, but I think I'm gonna look better still with the beard, but I want to shave for the show. So side note, I got sidetracked because it's lighting. Meal 3 about to go down. We have 100 grams extra lean cooked beef. We have 120 grams shrimp, 150 grams white rice, 100 grams egg white 1 full egg, 15 grams Frank's Red Buffalo. I'm starving. I'm gonna eat this and then go on the last and final walk for today. And then I'll pick it up at the end and explain 1 or 2 things to you guys. So finished meal number 3. It is honestly super late. It got kind of started late to the day just because all the recording, all the stuff I had to do with clients in the morning, and then I had my posing, so I didn't get home till after a little bit while after training, traffic and everything like that. Normally I would probably eat this meal and have this walk about an hour earlier than I did most days, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna finish up this walk, get my 14,000 steps. That's basically what my daily step count is now. I'm gonna do more posing and actually less steps going forward. So this will probably be honestly my last day at 14K, and then I'll drop it to 12, monitor how we go from there, and monitor what the physique is looking like. Honestly, after talking with my posing coach today, he said the condition's there. So if I keep trying to push and drop body fat from here, I'm just gonna start eating into muscle, which is what I don't wanna do. Cardio has already been dropped out just to posing in the morning and 14,000 steps. Steps are gonna be reduced further, like I said, to 12,000. And then after that, probably even down to 10,000. And then probably just a morning walk and then a 10-minute walk after every single meal. But we will judge that day by day depending on how the weight continues to drop, if it does, and if we continue to hold. So I'm gonna finish up this walk and then head home, have my last meal, or the last thing I eat before bed. I don't know if I'd call it a meal, but no longer whey protein. I switch it to something else. Okay, it's a little bit later now, and this will be the last thing I eat before I go to bed. So I have dropped out my whey protein and that Fairlife fat-free milk that I was using, just because I'd rather have something that I can eat and also something that digests a little bit better. For me, whey protein's always kind of been good, but I don't want to take any chances or any risks at all. And I'd rather have chicken instead of whey and milk, just personally. So what we have here is 100 grams of chicken breast, just straight up, with 5 grams of Frank Red hot sauce there, 150 grams of watermelon, and a couple slices of cucumber. I basically go back and forth between 180 grams of watermelon or strawberry or 1 rice cake, but I have some juicy watermelon for today. And the last thing I will do tonight is freshen up on some J3U. I'm going to just kind of learn about water balance, fluid balance, fluid and electrolyte factors, sodium and potassium intake. And I've went through this before, but it's good to just freshen up on everything and take a read at my notes that I made the last time I watched this, just so I make sure all my bases are covered now that I'm only 3 weeks out and practicing my peak consistently. So what the next 3 weeks is going to look like for me are going to be the same exact thing every single week. Since I'm stage conditioned so early and since I'm fully shredded 6% body fat 3 weeks out, now I'm in the perfect position to actually practice my peak. And I basically am going to use this week, next week, and then the week of my show, obviously, as testers. Basically, I'm going to act as if I'm going to be stepping on stage this Saturday, and I'm going to do every single thing the same on every single day. So Monday will be this diet, Tuesday will be this diet, Wednesday will be this diet. The training will be the exact same. I'll eat the exact same food, exact same amount of water, exact same sodium, and that way I can test out exactly how I'm going to look Saturday morning, the morning of my show. And I have 2 different chances at this, 2 different full weeks to practice this peak precisely, and I can toggle carbohydrates up and down, sodium up and down, play with the look a little bit and see what I like. And that way all I have to do is repeat that exactly the week of my show, and I know I will be golden. The absolutely last thing you want to do is have to lose fat 2 weeks out of your show, and especially peak. This is when you want to be shredded ahead of time, which was my plan from the beginning, and it worked out perfectly because now I can fully drop the fatigue, drop the cardio, focus on my posing, focus on eating up into the show, and pushing carbohydrates in and water in instead of flushing everything out and still having to push fatigue up because I have to lose fat still. That's one thing you want to completely avoid. So you want to make sure you prep early, you prep properly, and you prep hard from the start. Once Armand comes back next week, we have a lot of content to film leading up to the show and the 3 weeks after the show, but you guys will see why after. And that's basically what a full day in the life looks like 3 weeks out of my show. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.